Choosing the correct tee height can drastically alter ball flight and distance, but which one of these tees is going to help us do it, and more importantly, how is it going to help us do it? Today, we're going to find out. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be testing 3 different tee heights on GC Quad to see what changes in my swing and therefore how that changes the kind of output, the ball flight, the distance, those kind of things. So we're going to be using the equivalent of an orange castle tee, a pink castle tee, and a yellow castle tee. Now we're going to be using burr tees, which we use in the studio, which are just much easier to use, but they're the exact equivalent of these 3 tee heights, in-depth testing and showing you all the data, looking at the characteristics of my delivery and therefore how it changes the ball flight and the performance. Now this is going to be a really interesting and very important one for you guys to watch. I think you're going to get a lot out of it. So let's dive in. So first up, we're going to be using the standard size tee, which is exactly the same as the pink castle tee heights. It's a pretty standard size for me and a lot of you out there. So let's get set with this. Bit high toe, but we're going to take it. Yeah, it might be a bit of a high launch, low spinner. Yep, a little bit high toe. 14.8 launch, 1800 backspin. Bit of an overachiever, that one. Felt like a good strike, that one. Really good face to path. Take that all day long. Pretty decent numbers. 5 mil low strike, but it's fairly good. Really good delivery, really good efficiency. 12.5 launch, 2000 backspin. Yeah, I like it. Nice. So I've hit a lot of shots there. Obviously I haven't shown you many. Again, yeah, a little bit low toe that, but been consistently around sort of 6, 7 up on that, which is an important point to note. Right, now jumping into the biggest tee, which is the equivalent to your orange castle tees, which is about ½ an inch higher than the pink tee we just used. I mean, it's only ½ an inch, but that looks massive. Like, it looks like I'm just gonna roof it now. And I think that's the biggest thing, really. The same as club fitting, it's how you react to it. So I now don't feel actually like I can make my normal swing here. I feel like I've got to do something a little bit different in order to actually make good solid contact with that ball. I'm going to try and keep my swing as the same as I possibly can. Actually hit that really well. Like, absolutely nailed it. Straight out the bat. That's really good. Really good. I mean, you take those numbers every day of the week. I mean, that's 3 drives in a row I would take any day of the week. Strike was maybe a little bit low toe on that one, but yeah, a little bit. Again, good numbers, but we can see that angle of attack and that launch just starting to creep. Actually hitting it really solid off this tee. It's getting out there. But yeah, you can definitely just start to see a few of those variables changing ever so slightly. These numbers are going to be interesting, and this one is going to be super interesting because now we're jumping into the yellow castle tee, which is again, it's ½ an inch smaller than the pink tee, so an inch smaller than what we just used. And yeah, that just looks horrible. It looks like the ball is sat barely off the ground, looks like I'm going to thin it, feels like I can't set up to it how I want to. I'm always quite behind it, hence why I hit up on the ball quite a lot, generally speaking. I feel like I can't even really do that. Again, I'm going to try and keep my swing as similar as I possibly can. actually wasn't a bad shot, but I did thin it. I definitely thinned it. I mean, I'll still take it. Absolutely would take that. But yeah, definitely some of these variables starting to shift, which is going to be very interesting at the end. That was really good. Okay, like the height of the ball flight is noticeably different. Actually still getting really good numbers. Launch has come way down. Again, actually, we'll save it. We'll save it for the end. Don't want to give too much away too early. Again, that actually felt pretty good. I must admit, I did kind of feel myself changing slightly there, yeah. Getting more out to him, but that's just a byproduct of I feel like I have to work my hands a little bit lower through impact just to try and actually get the club down to the ball, which is, yeah, forcing me to change the way I'm delivering the club. Oh, I felt like a really good swing. I mean, again, absolutely going to take that. Really good delivery. Don't forget about our 5,000 subscriber giveaway as well, coming very soon. So if you are not subscribed, go down there, click that subscribe button now, because you are not going to want to miss it. Right, so what do we see from a performance standpoint? Purely numbers. You can see ball speed, pink, orange and yellow we got here. So first out with pink, 166, orange 166, yellow 165. So we saw a little bit less ball speed from the yellow. We'll discuss that in a little bit. Launch, 13.8 with the pink, goes up to 14.8 with the orange, down to 11.4 with the yellow. Now, obviously, that's something that we'd probably expect to see. Higher T, higher launch, lower T, lower launch. Again, we'll discuss the variables at the end of why that actually happened, what caused that to happen. Spin, you can see the pink, 2173, quite nice. Actually came down a little bit with the orange, and again, we'll discuss why. And 2400 with the yellow, so we've got lower launch and higher spin from the yellow. Actually, reasonably nice launch conditions, 13.8 and 2100, almost 2200 from the pink. And what I actually equated to from a distance perspective is you had 300 carry from the pink, 307 from the orange, and 290 from the yellow. So that lower launch and more backspin created, from the yellow to the orange, it's at 17 yards of carry, which is massive. And for me, someone who's got a little bit of ball speed, it probably would make slightly less difference to an average or slower swing speed. If your launch really comes down, that's really going to affect the carry dramatically. So for me, seeing 17 yards, that's massive, but you could actually see potentially quite a lot more than that depending on your swing speed. So now we'll touch a little bit on some of the club delivery variables and what I changed, which caused that difference in performance. So unfortunately, the software is kind of having a bit of a blip, so we can't get the club comparison page up, so we have to do it like this for now. So what variables in terms of the club delivery changed to produce those different results? Now, one thing that I'll always see in fittings when we change tee height is angle of attack, which is massive, really. So we can see with the pink tee, which is the one that I use quite consistently, we had an angle of attack of 6.7 up, which is probably about right for me. It's maybe a little bit more up than you'd like, but I do hit up on the ball quite a lot. So you can see 6.7 up and 0.9 in to out. If we scroll down to the bottom of the orange tee, so you can see the average here. So we've got orange, which is obviously the higher tee. The angle of attack increases by just over a degree, up to 7.8. Path still fairly similar. That's not really changing too much, but the angle of attack jumps to almost 8 degrees up. So I'm really feeling like I've got to hit up on it to actually get to the ball, otherwise basically feel like I'm going to roof it. Now if we scroll down to the yellow, which is the smaller tee, it goes dramatically down to 4.8 up. Still actually quite a nice window to be in, 4.8 up. However, that is one of the biggest variables I'd see when we're dabbling around with tee height, is you almost have to change your angle of attack, because if you don't, you feel like you're gonna misstrike it. And also, you can see that the path actually flipped 1 in to out with the yellow tee. So generally speaking, the more we hit down or the less up we hit, actually feeling like I'm swinging a little bit more down and left, which is very, very tight. Angle of attack and path is very tight, whereas almost when we're really hitting up, I feel like you almost have to stay behind it, which a lot of the time pushes the path out to the right versus down and to the left. So angle of attack is one of the biggest things that I would see when it comes to changing tee height. The other thing that's very linked to angle of attack is delivered loft. So we can see with the yellow, we had a delivered loft of 18.7. With the orange, which is this one here, we can see it was 20.4. So from the lowest to the highest, there's almost 2 degrees of delivered loft difference, which again is quite substantial. You think about kind of a 9 degree to an 11 degree driver, that's quite a big difference. That in itself would have a big part to play in terms of the launch. And more loft, obviously more launch, less loft, obviously less launch. So that's a big part of it. And then the last bit of the kind of equation would be the strike. So you can see the average strike with the yellow tee was 5 mil toe, 8 mil low. Versus with the orange tee, we had 9 mil toe, 4 mil low. So that's 4 millimeters lower in the head, which again, it is not much. It doesn't sound a lot, but that is enough to actually make quite a big difference to the launch and spin. The lower that we strike it, it's going to decrease that launch and it's going to increase that backspin, which is the last thing you want when we're talking about distance. For a lot of you out there, you're going to be trying to gain distance. You want it higher up in the head, if anything, which is going to increase the launch, decrease the backspin, and that will increase the yardage. So really a lower tee for a lot of people. If you've got a lot of speed, like a lot of tour players will tee it down and always try and kind of squeeze it out there, keep it in the fairway. If you're trying to increase your distance, really it's probably going to be worth dabbling with a higher tee, trying to stay behind, hit more up from the inside, and therefore get that higher launch, lower backspin, and actually increase that distance. So there we have it, a substantial difference when it comes to ball flight and distance. And all of those variables is exactly what I would expect to see in fittings. So quick summary, one of the main things that we're going to see is the difference in angle of attack. A lot of people think that strike height is going to be the biggest one. Yes, it does alter strike height a bit, but the biggest variable I would always see is angle of attack. So if you're someone who really struggles to hit up on the ball, tee that ball up, get it forward in your stance, stay back and really try and hit up through it. Or if you're someone who's actually maybe hits up a bit too much, let's get that tee height a little bit lower, but always be conscious of what it is doing to the strike. Get some strike spray, know where you're striking it, because as we saw, that has a massive effect on launch and spin as well. So it's a great thing to play around with. Learn what suits you best. Get on the range, get some different tee heights, get some strike spray, look at the ball flight, check the distances, and yeah, you can really dial it in to make a big improvement to your driving, distance, ball flight, everything. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed that video. Comment below, let me know what you thought. Let me know what you want to see next. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.